other people's homes when they said with their address, because it was clear that here they were at the city council meeting, and now they've said where they live. And of course, the person, you don't really care where the person lives unless it's pertinent to what their request is, because they don't have to live in your community. The same person who had the comment on the Adams Bridge wanted, when a person came to the mic, to have the city clerk look up and see if that person had voted in any of the last 5 local elections. And if they hadn't, they wanted the person to sit down. Of course, totally against the law.
I say, and if this person was 20?
Totally against the law. Yeah, no, because the person doesn't even have to be from your community.
Of course not. They don't have to be a citizen. They don't.
Absolutely not.
They just have to be a breathing person.
Yes, exactly. Only requirement. So, remarks must be confined to pending question. Speakers should address the chair and not enter into debate with members of the audience. And during debate, the chair shall make an effort to alternate between supporting and opposing arguments. And here is one area in which I'm going to differ with what my esteemed colleague said. And that is when you have a group and they all come from Elm Street, and you want to say to them, could you just choose a spokesperson who will give you 6 minutes? That sounds like such a good idea. But in practice, what happens is the person finishes their 6 minutes, and one person says, you didn't say the part that I wanted. And then somebody else says, you didn't cover this. And people say that, I want to talk. Yeah, give me a turn. I want to say something different than what he said. So actually, it's the same vein with just speak if you have something new to add. Well, everybody thinks that what they have to say is something new to add. So, but it is good between supporting and opposing. I really support that. And I think that that's all except the motions that bring a question again before the assembly. We'll do that, and then we'll be all set.
We did have some questions procedurally about tabling motions. And basically when we say something like, this was the thing we were going to vote on, but we want more information about it, so we want to table it. Are we really tabling? Are we postponing?
Yes.
That's what we're really doing.
Yes.
And what happened is the motion, it doesn't happen very often, but it was tabled, and then there was some confusion about how to remove it off the table, and we had to vote to remove it off the table, and that was unclear to certain.
Let me talk about lay on the table, which is the top motion under, just below the word subsidiary.
Sure.
What's it for? The motion to lay on the table is intended so that we have the motion on the floor to buy new benches for the park. We're discussing it. In comes our state senator, wants to bring a few words. We have a motion on the floor. We do not want to discuss the benches and what they should be made of while we keep our state senator waiting. Lay on the table is intended to put it on the table for a short period of time. That's why if you look at lay on the table, it requires a second, but it's not debatable or amendable. It's supposed to be quick. I move to table the motion on the benches until after the senator has finished speaking. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Lay the motion on the table. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The motion is on the table. Bing, 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 bing. It is the only motion where the chair can actually ask you, why do you want to lay it on the table? It's the only motion I can inquire as to your purpose, because it was used as the killing motion. Because if we don't take this motion off the table by the end of the next meeting, it's gone. Doesn't mean it's defeated. It just means we'd have to start over again. Sure. It's gone. So that's what and then after the person leaves, here we go, bottom of the third page, take from the table. The person says, I move to take from the table the motion of green benches after the senator left. Again, not debatable, not amendable, a vote. And now the motion is back before you as if you did not, as if you had not laid it on the table.
What we were really looking to do
what you want to do, because I'm going to guess you want to postpone it to get information.
Yes.
So now we have the green benches on the floor, and we're discussing them, and we're discussing what they should be made of, how many we should get, what they're going to cost, what color they should be. Of course, typically, that would have all been in the report, but we're going to pretend for the moment we don't know these things. That is perfect for postpone to a certain time. And so I move to postpone the motion on the green benches until the meeting, until the July meeting. Seconded. Moved and seconded, and then would you like to speak to your motion? Yes. I wanted to put it on the table because I'd like it, I want to postpone it because I'd like it to come back with some suggestions on product it's made of, or color, or the yada, 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 which goes into the minutes. That's one situation where that detail does go into the minutes, because that report is going to be sent to, in this case, probably DPS, and returned. The other thing you could do with it is refer it, and you could refer it, but referring it gives you the same options of saying, do you have a Parks and Recreation Committee?
They're not part of the city.
Oh, okay. So, but if you had
They're their own separate 501c3.
okay. Well, you could actually refer to them for a report. So that would be a refer, but you'd have all the same options of saying why you're referring it and determining when it should come back. Lay on the table, you don't say when it's going to come back, because it's going to come back at the next meeting, and you're going to deal with it, or it's
going to come back during this meeting.
And the next meeting.
Oh, you have one more meeting.
You have one more
Okay.
meeting.
So I guess we didn't totally do it wrong.
Yeah. But the fact is, the trouble with lay on the table is you can't talk about it. You can't say why you sent it there, or why you laid it there, or what you want. So you could, I moved to lay it on the table for more information, of what kind. So and looking again, right below, take from the table is, let's actually go to the bottom one, reconsider. Reconsider is the only American-made motion, and it is the most confusing of all the motions in the whole book. Basically, it says, so we were at a meeting, and we had a request to place a stop sign. The traffic consultant was not available. Actually, he was stuck in traffic, which is kind of the fun part of the story. And we voted to place the stop sign. Now, half an hour has passed, and in he comes. Finds out that we have placed the stop sign, asks permission to speak, and says, I'm sorry, it didn't have the warrants you need to put a stop sign in that area. That is not good. Explains to us why it's not good. We already made the decision. Because we're in the same meeting, we can move to reconsider the vote on the stop sign. And that must be made by a person voted on the prevailing side, which everyone had, so anyone could say, I move to reconsider the vote on the placement of the stop sign. As you see, it's debatable if the original motion was debatable, which it was. It can't be amended. All those in favor of reconsidering the vote on the stop sign say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is back before you as if you had not voted on it. We reconsidered the vote. We didn't change it yet. We just brought it back. Now we could ask a lot more questions about it, and then we would eventually defeat it, not to place the stop sign.
So the traffic consultant didn't make it by that meeting, tells the manager that did what, and then at the next meeting, the council will have learned from the manager.
Yes, no, I'm going to say. So here we are. It's the next meeting. We didn't get the word. Or we say, you know what? We could reconsider this tonight, but the people who wanted the stop sign went home after we voted yes. We need to put this on the next agenda, and notify the area that we are going to look at it again. So then we put it on the agenda, so you could have the option for, while you could reconsider, you might choose not to. So we put it on the agenda for the next meeting, and we receive the report, the neighbors come in, They don't hear the report, and we move to rescind. Now, you can only rescind that which you have not done. Fortunately, since the traffic consultant came the next day, they did not order the stop sign. But we could have had a situation where we would order the stop sign. Of course, the nice thing is you can always use an extra stop sign. So put it in the back of the garage.
Like a fire truck.
Right, right. But thank you for asking me to explain the difference between those two. Anything else? You've been enormously patient. You see my email on the front there, ec@wayne.edu. So when you need clarification, please send me an email. Yes?
The point of order, can anybody on the council say point of order? There's like interruptions or unruly audience.
Yes, absolutely.
I also don't see on here call for the question.
Oh, yeah.
Did I just miss it?
Previous question it's called.
Okay,
It's right here, right underlay on the table.
got it.
And that is the motion to stop debate.
Right.
When I'm in charge, that's what it's going to be called. Because it is the motion to stop debate. And whenever anybody says question, I always, as a chair, say, this is the motion to stop debate. Are you in favor of stopping debate? And everybody always is.
Yeah.
But it does, you notice, take a 2/3 vote.
Yes.
So if you're in a group where somebody else calls a question, and the chair says, oh, now we have to vote, oh, no. Now you have to vote on whether or not you want to stop debate.
Right.
Coco, should the council formally adopt that they'd like to use Robert's Rules of Orders?
Many councils
We've never
do.
done that.
We haven't?
Many councils do, because the important thing is to know where Roberts is in what I call the funnel of Peter Lutzman laws, which is, what's the law, the biggest law that we as elected officials have to pay attention to, and that is the U.S. Constitution. Then any federal laws that pertain to us, the Michigan Constitution, Michigan laws, of which you heard about two important ones today, your own city charter, any rules you adopt, any ordinances you adopt. You see how we're getting down? Right. Now, we're down to the bottom, Roberts. And Roberts is what you use when nothing else answers it. So, for example, Roberts says the name of the maker of the motion is in the minutes, but not the seconder. And I can tell you there is not a city, village, or township in this state that doesn't list both the name of the maker of the motion and the seconder. So there's a perfect example of where your practice differs from Robert, but your practice is above Robert. So Robert is the procedural document you use when, I mean, look, you wouldn't want a city charter that covered all this in procedures when it's not covered someplace else. So that's why many communities do adopt Robert. Sometimes people are concerned because they say, well, then we have to do everything like that. No, you don't. Just as you say, people can speak for 4 minutes. Do you know how many minutes Roberts would give them? 10. You'd be here the night. But you can adopt rules that are appropriate for you, and then in things where you don't have anything else, you can go to Roberts.
Robert's rules duly revised.
Yes. There's actually in the book, there's the phrase you should use.
Does it really change that much? I mean, for those of us who've read several versions.
Okay. Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised in its most recent edition.
Okay. Is it Kindle?
I
Can you get it, can you get it for Kindle?
I know I have CD-ROM, but I haven't looked into a Kindle.
Okay. I'll go check into that.
But it is in CD-ROM. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Local.
Thank you.
Oh, you have a question?
No, not really a question, a comment. I would like to thank, seems we've been here a little over 3 hours, in formalities, Bill and yourself. Appreciate taking away the lounge, and I have a headache that I will digest in a couple of weeks. I guess my question is, did I get the steam engine fire truck?
No. It's only play.
We haven't voted on the vote, we have to vote on the amendment.
Well, I appreciate your time, and it was very beneficial for myself, and I'm a department head that sits on this side and they sit on that side, but I picked up a lot of information and I appreciate it.
Well, everybody's in lots of organizations, so there's all kinds of nuggets you can use other places. Okay.
Nuggets.
Yeah. So, any other business to come before the council?
Passing out an evaluation for these council members, hospital, going back tomorrow night.
Okay.
And you do want to complete it, because then the league will send you a certificate for the time you spent.
Okay. I would like to move to excuse Mr. Clark from the meeting. That motion has been made. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion to excuse Mr. Clark from this meeting. Did I do that?
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I missed him.
He's generally a responsible person. I feel something must have happened.
I can imagine, yeah. I've never known him to miss a meeting without telling anybody, but. So, any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion carries. Mr. Clark is excused. Any other new business? Any other business to come before the council? With that being said, I will move to council comments. Mr. Hopkins.
Well, I think this is very informative. I think we should keep it in mind as we move ahead and watch, how we do things, conducting, whether it's through email or whether it's through sitting here or being out in public.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Howell.
I agree with Karen. I thought he stated it very well.
Mr. Truesdale.
Yes, I felt too that it was very informative. The only question I had in the end was how many fire trucks did we buy, Marty?
But they're steam powered,
Not very many for
We're
$32,000.
not going far on 35,000, I'm okay.
It's like coal. Whatever.
Councilor Nixon.
I'd like to thank our guests for coming. I found it very informative, and I hope that going forward I can start to digest all of this.
And I will conclude by saying again, thank you to our guests. This was exceptionally informative. I feel like I learned a lot. It was a long time, but I'm very much worth it and grateful that you came. And with that, I move to adjourn.
One second.
The motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All those opposed? We are adjourned.